What's going on, guys? So today I want to talk about meal plans. I want to give you my opinion on them and basically why I'm not a very big fan of them. So I'm not saying that meal plans have no practical applications. I'm not saying there's never a time where a meal plan can be a good idea, but I think for the large majority of people, especially people who are just looking to get in shape and create long-term, lasting, sustainable results, a meal plan is not a very good idea because there's a few reasons. One being, it still kind of preaches this good and bad food behavior, right? So if you get a meal plan and you see these foods on your list, you're still gonna think, well, these foods are on my list, they must be good. Anything not on this list must be bad, and that's just not true. The other thing is, it's not a teaching tool. You don't really learn anything from a meal plan. So, I mean, if you're just eating foods off of a list, even if you lose a significant amount of weight, what are you gonna do when you get off that meal plan? How are you gonna keep things going? You haven't been taught anything, you don't understand nutrition, you really didn't learn any valuable lessons from this meal plan, so when you eventually get off the meal plan, you're kind of left fending for yourself. You don't really have the education necessary to sustain the results that you've gotten, and that's really the big part of most diets out there, is there's just no good long-term plan, all right? There's a lot of ways to lose weight. Pretty much any diet you can ever dream of will work in the short term, all right? Keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, Advocare, you name it. In a 12, 16 week period, you can absolutely lose weight on all these, fine, but the problem is, what are you gonna do after the weight's gone, all right? What have you learned? Can you possibly sustain it, all right? Cliff Wilson actually had a really good post about this on Facebook the other day, because sustainable is kind of like this really hot term right now in the fitness world, and it should be. Sustainability is absolutely great. It is. And it is a key factor for most people to create these long-term lasting results. But at the same time, we can't just blame everything on lack of sustainability, right? No matter what you do, if you want to get in shape and stay in shape, it requires a certain level of fortitude, all right? You have to make some sacrifices, you have to work hard, you have to be consistent, and you can't always just point to, well, I need to change the plan to be more sustainable. At some point you have to look within too. Now, there's a combination of the two. I'm not saying just it's always every person's fault. I think a large majority of the time it is because people diet in unsustainable ways. But just keep in mind, it does require some fortitude. But when it comes to your diet, sustainability does matter. It really does. And I just don't find meal plans to be sustainable. I mean, unless you're gonna do meal plans for the rest of your life, at some point you're gonna fall off and you're not gonna know what to do. So again, that doesn't mean meal plans are always bad. I think there's practical applications for it. Say for instance somebody's prepping for a show and they need to just get shredded and they don't want to think about things, they don't have to worry about hitting macros and all that type of stuff. A meal plan can be a great option in that scenario. You don't have to think, you've got diet brain, you can just do what's on your list and go. But you also have to keep in mind, dieting for a show isn't exactly a sustainable plan anyway. Nobody's dieting down for a show to be completely shredded and just stay that way the rest of their life, or at least very, very, very few people can possibly sustain that. It's just not realistic. So just kind of keep that in mind. Also, in the beginning, there can be some benefits of a little bit of a meal plan to kind of help teach you, some more nutrient-dense foods and stuff. But again, it's just not something that's going to work in the long run, in my opinion. You need to be able to understand nutrition. I just think nothing kind of works better than tracking your macros using a flexible dieting approach. It just really teaches you so much, right? You can understand how nutrition works. You can understand, what things look like. If you start measuring your food for a while, it doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, but you measure your food, you start to get an idea of what portion sizes look like. You can start estimating things. You can start getting an idea of what things look like and how your body reacts to these different types of things. And it's just such a valuable teaching tool. I really recommend it a lot. I hate to see people always fall into these traps of short-term diet solutions that just lead them into eventual weight regain. So that's my opinion anyways. I'd love to hear your opinion. Just drop it in the comments below and I will see you guys in the next video.
I'm addicted to the love that you're giving. Every minute, every day I've been craving